What's going on, gamers? It's SuperLeutu here from Beneath the Veil and welcome back to the channel. This week I wanted to do a follow-up to the first part of our HUD tips and tricks video that we published a couple of weeks ago now, and I wanted to do a couple of updates to that video, focusing more on the enemy side of things. First of all, I'd like to give credit to a member of our community who rightfully pointed out, which I'd forgotten, that this little, when you hold Alt and then look underneath hero profiles, you'll see that these little lines underneath the heroes means that they have their buyback available at the time. Secondly, so as we jump into the enemy HUD, so a couple of important things to know is that with the enemy HUD, whenever you can now, as of 7.32, I believe was the patch where they introduced it, you can get running updates of the enemy team's items just by clicking on the HUD. So if I click on the line here, I can see he's got a magic stick. And it's still being updated because we have vision of him, but the second that we lose vision of him, we would then no longer have it. So he's going to TP away, fair enough. So this is really good, especially for support players who can monitor items, but also for core heroes. They're playing the game and they get an item timing and they're considering what their next item is. You normally want to go and have a look at the enemy cores and see what they're building so that you can counteract what they're doing. The other thing with the enemy HUD is that you can, as most people will know, if you hold Alt and then click on a hero profile, it will say that they're missing. If you hold Alt and Control and then click, it will say that they've returned. One other additional tip for this, and something that I like to do a lot, is if you're saying that somebody from your lane is missing, if you have the ping wheel bound to be able to say that somebody's missing, it will actually say a voice line that your lane is missing. And then I'll normally pair that up by then pinging out. So in the case of Pudge, I double ping it. Because quite often whenever players hear just the ping sound, they don't really pay attention to it. Whereas if you are able to do something like, you know, tell them that it's missing and then tell them who the hero is that's missing, you're much more likely to get, you know, people actually respecting the call and less likely to get flamed when they inevitably die to it, but that's just kind of whatever. In terms of other things, so that's really all you can do with the enemy HUD, is call missing and return and check enemy items. I thought I'd go over a couple of contextual pings as well. So we've already talked about that you can ping out to say that somebody's missing. So that's one that I use all the time. Other things are if you hold Alt and then go to left click and hold on a spot, it will bring up a contextual ping wheel. So if you leave it in the center, it won't do anything. But if you move it over to the top left, for example, for me, that'll say that I'm on my way somewhere. So say if I was going to rotate up here, I could ping out that I'm on my way to rotate up here. You can do other things, like you can say retreat, you can say that the enemy has vision or that you want vision, and then you can also do like a negative ping. And then you can also say to attack. So, you know, I could ping out on Pudge to say that I want to attack him. So here, for example, I could ping out, say that I'm on my way, so that my team knows to keep going. And then I could really easily get that kill like that. Context, I'm just playing on against bots, so that I'm not throwing a game trying to teach you all the stuff. So other things are, so if you hold Alt and then just left click, that'll give you your main ping. But you can get a, you can bind an alternate ping, which will be based on what happens when you hold Alt and Control. So the same way that we get missing or returned, I'm pinging out these, going to respawn, so missing or returned. If I do just Alt, I'll get my basic ping. If I do Alt and Control, then I do my second one. I've bound it to retreat, because that's how I use it the most. But if you go into your settings here, and then you go, I believe it's Customise ping wheel. Yeah, there you go. So you can set your standard ping and your alternate ping, and then you can set how you want this configured. At the moment, by default, there is some redundancies because you have like the same pings coming up twice. So your standard ping isn't the same every time, but you can have, for instance, by default, you get 2 of these X's. I've changed it so that I've got 2 retreats instead, just because I use retreat more than I use anything else. I do use probably these 2 the most in conjunction with that, but what I'll often do is if I decide that I don't want to play a certain position anymore, I'll physically ping out that I'm going to retreat, and then I'll spam, you know, spam retreat, say that, hey look guys, I'm retreating, you should retreat as well. And you can do that on the minimap as I'm demonstrating here. You can tell people to retreat, you can say that you're on your way, you can tell them to attack, you can see if you had vision, you could say that they've got vision there. So you can do all of those contextual pings on the minimap as well, or you can do them on, you know, your main screen here as well. But that's, I think, everything. If there's anything that you think I've missed, please let us know in the comments below. As always, the comments are a really good place to go for additional insights from the community, and we really appreciate you guys mentioning all the things that sometimes in the moment I just forget to mention, or some things, you know, I learn plenty from you guys as well. But that's all for this week. I will see you in the next video.